Nation, let's get it. Yo, shout out to everybody already rocking. I see Black Mamba, Nick, Primos, as always, Geo, Medwin, Daniel, 3 times, Swin Raider, man. Shout out to all my people. I see my brother Maul in the building. A lot to unpack today, you guys. The trade deadline has come and gone, and nothing. Silence, no trades, no extra draft capital. No Abram, no Klee, moving on. No, none of it. And I just wanted to see the nations. I want to see how y'all feel about this situation, right? We see a lot of other teams go out there and get better today, right? Minnesota Vikings traded in division trade for Hawkinson, up and coming tight end. I thought it was a hell of a pickup for Minnesota. Come to find out, Irv Smith is gone for like 8 to 10 weeks, so it makes sense why they traded for a tight end. I don't know what Detroit is smoking, but for those who follow the channel daily, it probably is Dick and Dynamite. Detroit is just doing Lions things at this point. But how are you guys feeling right now, man? We're 2-5. There's not really much that we could have went out and traded for. Let's just be real. I mean, we're 2-5. There's not one player out there that would have made a difference. There's not one guy that we could have went out there and traded for, parted with, picks, or parted with some other players in order to make this team better this year. I think it's clear as day at this point that David Ziegler is cool with going into 2023 with a full draft and then some. We're looking at potential comp picks, you guys, potential comp pick for Marcus Mariota, potential one for, I think, Nicholas Morrow, Josh Jacobs, Klee, Abram. I mean, the list goes on. We're looking at potentially a lot of draft capital going into 2023. And I said this yesterday. I said it on Twitter as well. I didn't think that we were going to make any moves after losing to New Orleans. I thought, if anything, we would stockpile picks. We'd maybe try and get some mid-round picks, some late-round picks at best. Because at this point, really, there wasn't no moves out there to be made. I know Buffalo went out there. I think they traded for Nyheim Hines, right? Indianapolis, the Miami Dolphins went all in and traded for Bradley Chubb. They gave up a lot, but at the end of the day, look at what they did, you guys. For those picks that they got for Trey Lance, they got Waddle, Tyreek, and now Bradley Chubb. You look at the Miami Dolphins team, you look at how they work, it hurts my soul, man. Because we once had 3 picks in the first round and left with Abram, Klee, and Josh Jacobs, who has been great for us this year. Why does all these other teams, man, get to have fun? And we just don't. I don't get it. Real quick, let me read this super real quick. Wasted, where you at, man? I see you in the chat. Where you at, bro? Hold on. Oh, shit. I didn't send him the right. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let me get our brother Wasted in the building. Boom. My apologies, Wasted. Shout out to Primos. I wanted us to be sellers and get more draft capital. I agree. Surprised we didn't entertain the Jacobs trade. Get something for him if he's going to walk away. Well, at the end of the day, I think we still get a comp pick for him, Primos. I assume that we're somewhere looking at like a 3rd round pick, right? For a comp pick for Josh Jacobs at this point. What do you think, Wasted? Shout out to my bro in the building.
Look, man, I'm under the impression that, like, I think the best thing for us was to be in a situation where we stood pat. Like, you don't want to be in a situation where, with all this talent on this team, you just throw the season away and throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And then there wasn't a move that was to be made that can't be made in the offseason. Like, even if, like say, for instance, you go and you trade Josh Jacobs, right? You could franchise Josh Jacobs and you can get probably the actual value, because, like, with some of the guys we have on this team, they have to rebuild their value back up. Like, say, for instance, like a guy like Darren Waller, right? These guys are sharks. So they're gonna do what you would do, like when you buy a house or you buy a car. They're gonna be like, man, listen, there's that dent right there. Yeah. Well, look at that scratch right there. Look at that. They're gonna do all of this stuff, and they're gonna say, hey, Darren Waller's been hurt. He hasn't played very much. So I think it would be better for us to wait and get the value for these guys that's commiserate to what they actually are.
But that's why I thought that we would have let Josh Jacobs walk, because you don't get any higher than the value that he has right now. Like, Buffalo went out and traded for Nyheim Hines. I was assuming that Buffalo, Philly, one of these teams, the Rams, would have came calling and got desperate and threw a second out there to go get him a running back. This is the highest value that Josh will ever have, bro, especially on a contract year.
If you really look at it, right? If he completes this body of work, I beg to differ. If he completes this body of work, and then at the end of the season, you have a team that's right on the precipice of winning a Super Bowl, and they're like, you know what, the cherry on top for us is a running back, then you can really maximize his value. Because now what you can do is you can franchise him. You can pick Josh Jacobs' brain and say, hey, man, where would you like to go? Because I know you want to win. You come from Alabama. Right, and then you could really get the real value for Josh Jacobs.
But we know Josh Jacobs, bro. This man will be hurt, and the next thing you know, that injury lingers. This was the highest period that his stock could have ever been, bro. Like, look, do I trust Josh Jacobs to get through the whole season healthy? No, I don't. I don't at all. Do I hope so? Yeah, definitely. But this is literally the highest. Waller, I get it. I mean, you pretty much. We're probably, if you were trying to trade Waller, you're probably trading him for pennies on the dollar at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, you still get something for Waller, but you're not going to get what we should get for him, right? Same thing with, a bunch of other players that we have on this roster right now. No one's really living up to the expectations outside of let's just be real. I mean, Max Crosby, I mean, Devontae Adams even had 1 for 3 this past week, even though he was dealing with a flu. I'm going to be real with you. Josh Jacobs, and I'll say Devontae, Max, and Josh, and Nate Haas before he went out. That's it. That's it.
See. The only thing when it comes to Josh, right? There are one of two things that you can look at, right? How long is his injury, right? If Josh misses a game, he gets dinged up a little, I think the body of work that he's putting down at the end of the season, he's probably going to have his best season ever, no matter what happens, unless he has a catastrophic injury, right? So you got to kind of be a glass half full kind of guy, because either which way, whatever you were going to get for Josh Jacobs, it wasn't going to be enough to save face to the nation, right? Because you still got to put butts in the seat, man. Like, let's just be for real here. How do you sell this to this fan base? This is the only guy besides Devontae Adams that you won't freaking the fans. Besides, look, there's 3 untouchable guys on this roster right now. I'll probably say 4. Nate Hobbs, Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Imagine the fucking despair that Raider Nation will have if Josh Jacobs was traded today. Think about it. Like, really, really think about this. So, like, as a team, as a business, I just don't think there's any way that you can really sell this to the fan base by having a guy that's having a season of his life get traded in the middle of this. Like, you can't, bro. I don't see them being able to do that. I have no problem with them betting on Josh continuing the best season of his life. I would rather them do that. I would rather them do that than to get a fucking mid-round pick in next year's draft. I think his presence in his locker room this year is more valuable to us than us getting a 4th round or 3rd round pick for him.
I hear you, bro. Look, if he's still in the plans long term, then I'm here for it. Like I'm
He
all.
might be.
It may be. Maybe that is what it is. I don't know. You just never know with Josh McDaniels and this whole running backs situation. Shout out to J-Ro. How is it that McDaniels can tailor his offense to lesser QBs, Newton and Jones, and win, but he's not adjusting to DC's shortcomings? DC's a different quarterback than both those guys. Let's just be real, man. Cam Newton's he has a whole different, skill set than DC. And Mac Jones was a rookie. And he actually changed his defense, J-Ro, for Mac Jones his rookie year. He tried to limit the turnovers and limit, the shortcut, try not to expose the shortcomings of Mac Jones. A lot of short passes, a lot of different things, in order to make sure that Mac Jones didn't look crazy year one. And they went to the playoffs and he got a Pro Bowl. I mean,
bro, let me just ask you a question, J-Ro. How in the fuck is Cam Newton a lesser quarterback than Derek Carr?
Mind you, too, you guys, it's still early, and Cam Newton was 7-9 with the Patriots that year. 7-9.
Right.
So let's not act like they went out and did some damage. It didn't happen.
Yeah, but even Cam Newton from where he fell from, right? When it's all said and done, and their careers are over, because Derek Carr at this point in his career probably will never be a starter again. After this year, he'll probably never be a starter again.
Oh,
Derek Carr.
I definitely disagree with you.
I listen. He might get one more shot, but I doubt it. I doubt it, bro. Like at this point, because if he's not the quarterback of the Raiders, and he doesn't go where he wants to go, because I don't think Derek Carr's value around in that.
Okay, if you're gonna go off of where he wants to go, I get you.
There's a no trade clause.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I'm
just trade him where he's not going nowhere where he doesn't want to go.
If he agrees to go to
the all right, so who are these players, right? Yeah. Where does he want to go? Where are these teams? There are a lot of teams that I don't see him wanting to play for.
I would say this.
So he'll probably either retire or I don't see him wanting to be a backup. Where's he going?
I can name 3 teams right now that would go out and get him if he decided on waiving that trade clause, which we're not going to keep this. We're not going to make this a DC show.
No, not at all.
But he would definitely start. He would definitely start with the Indianapolis. Right. He would start with the Colts. If Deshaun Watson never sees it down in Cleveland, he could play for Cleveland, and he can definitely start over Kenny in Pittsburgh. They'd rather have a veteran that can get it done anyway. They can build an offensive line around him. He can definitely start in Pittsburgh. But there's
all right. So first of all, why would you draft a kid number 1 with your 1st round pick to go out and go get a free agent quarterback?
I hear you, bro. I'm just saying a lot of these guys don't pan out. They drafted Kenny,
Kenny Pickett will be their starter next year.
And we got Mitchell Trubisky, and he,
Kenny Pickett will be their starter next year. They didn't draft him in the 1st round.
I agree. I'm just saying that if
the Commanders pretty much essentially have Derek Carr right now. They got Carson Wentz.
The Saints
got a guy with a big contract that's not playing well. And the Commanders want to draft a quarterback. They will be drafting high in the draft. They're going to be.
They already went and got one. People tend to forget that they went and got the young guy out of North Carolina. You know what I mean? So they still have it. They still have a young guy.
Yeah, but they didn't. They don't have a lot of draft capital invested in that young guy.
No,
right?
I agree. I agree.
They will be at the top of the heap drafting the quarterback. Kenny Pickett will be their future.
I agree. I'm just saying
that. And then with Indianapolis they're lining themselves up to draft a quarterback as well, right? So say for instance Derek Carr's career ends today. How could you say that Cam Newton was a lesser quarterback than Derek Carr? Like come the fuck on.
No, but he's just saying what Josh McDaniels got out of him. He didn't say that DC's had a better career than Cam Newton's a former Super Bowl, former MVP. Like, we know what Cam has done, bro. He's just talking about in this specific system.
In this system, so what I'm saying to you is that I'm not hella wrong at all, bro. Like, listen, what I'm saying is that, at this point, bro, the reason why this is not working out, and we're talking about Josh McDaniels and tailoring and all this other stuff. We've had all these coaches here that couldn't tailor their offense around this and that. When do we stop talking about this?
Well, the thing is with Derek Carr, he's a traditional pocket passer. Like, you don't really need to tailor an offense around him. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just put him out there in front of a nice O-line, and if you hold him up, DC's going to get it done. I mean, but look, I'm just saying I've seen it in the past. Let's just say that. I'm not saying today, I'm not saying tomorrow.
I think today at this point, at this point in his career, this is just from what I'm seeing. I hope dude turns it around. I just think right now, just like it was that point in Cam Newton's career where you could just kind of see that it was over.
Oh yeah, he had no arm anymore.
Yeah, I just feel like it gets to a point where you could see like right now you can see that Matt Ryan is no longer Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah. But Matt Ryan is also about 10 years older than DC.
He's not 10 years older than him.
7, 8 years older
than him. He's 37 years old, right? There's certain players that you could just see that and it happens at different times. I just think that right now we can't keep using this metric of other players. That happens at different times, bro. I think at this time, bro, in this particular time, it's probably either a change of scenery or whatever. But
look, I'm agreeing with Wasted. I'm saying that I think it's time for DC after this year to go. I'm not saying that we need to keep DC. I'm all for freeing up $110 million.
I just don't think that whatever Josh McDaniels does and however his offense works, I just don't think that his offense and dude's skill set matches up. I just don't. Maybe he could play better somewhere else. I just think that the kind of quarterback he is, and I think a lot of it has to do with like having to hold the ball or whatever. I don't think it matches up. And I just want
to. We're going to move on from DC. Yeah. I just want at this point a mobile quarterback. That's it. I want a mobile guy.
I think you got to be able to move a little bit. I just don't think. I think that's what it is. Because Brady was a pocket guy, but early in his career, it was a lot of rolling out, a lot of stepping up, stuff like that. And I think Mac Jones is really good at doing that at this point in his career.
Yeah. You said Mac Jones?
I said Mac Jones right now. He's decent at doing that, at moving a little bit. He moves a little bit. He steps up. He's a little tough. He's young. You know what I mean? He's willing to get hit. You know, and he's not playing well this year. So let's see how that goes. But
Sean, look, bro, I hear you. You said when you rewatched the game, DC shouldn't have played. He was limited all week with a back injury. It was clear he wasn't 100%. I've seen him play like that before when he was fully healthy. So I don't really subscribe to that one, Sean. But I appreciate you, my brother, as always. Shout out to Jamal. Can people stop with the car? If Carr leaves, Devontae will leave. Yeah, it's not going to happen, Ma. Look, like I said before, we're going to end it with this. We're not going to talk about the DC and Devontae relationship anymore or DC. We're just going to say this. Devontae is a lifelong Raider fan. He grew up in the Bay Area. He's a Raider. It's simple and plain. Look, Devontae is smart enough to understand if he left Aaron Rodgers, he will definitely be okay with DC leaving. That's it. You played with one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, and you decided on moving on. Like, I don't think that it would be that big of a deal if we moved on from DC this offseason. Would it suck for him and his friend? Yes. But you know what's funny? I see DC retiring and still staying in Vegas and them still being best friends, like you know, just off the field. Nothing's going to change to me personally. You know what I'm saying? But would Mark Davis entertain Sean Payton? Would Sean Payton entertain Mark Davis? I don't think so. I remember Sean Payton a while ago about to have an interview with the Raiders in Oakland and someone telling him, do not go do that at all. And Sean Payton turned that down. So at the end of the day, I don't think Sean Payton wants anything to do with what we got going on. I think he would be happy with going to Dallas. You know, he's familiar with the area and being the Cowboys head coach if Matt McCarthy shits the bed this season. Shout out to Big Time. Shout out to Caleb. DC's problem is he cares too much about doing things exactly the way the coach sees it up and doesn't improvise. This is definitely a huge problem with DC. And that's another reason why I hate, and we're going to, like I said, we're not going to turn this into a Derek Carr show, but for him to keep going in these pressers and saying, I'm just trying to get the ball where Josh wants me to take it. I'm just trying to put the ball wherever. That doesn't sound like a leader to me, bro. That
sounds like a cop out.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a leader to me. Like if you're a top 10 quarterback, you're going to go out there, whatever you don't, if you don't see that guy that Josh wants you to go, you're going to go somewhere else. Simple and plain, bro. Like that right there is one of the main reasons that I'm cool with moving on from DC after this year is, bro, like, are you going to do exactly what this head coach is telling you? Get paid over $100 million to play football at the NFL level. Like, you don't need to do everything that Josh McDaniels, bro, you've survived hell and back in the past 9 years. Like, they're not going to bench you, bro. Like, go out there and play your game. If playing your game is going to get us more wins than what Josh is doing, then go out there and play the game. But that's
I
definitely.
think over the last 9 years, you learn many things, right? But one of the main things you learn is how to deal with the media and how to deflect, how to be a master of deflection, and how to be a master of how to block negativity and not sound negative.
Yeah.
And I think that is the main thing that bro, I think bro hasn't learned how to, be evasive in the pocket, but he's definitely learned how to be evasive in the media. And I think that people need to stop falling for that shit. There's no way that you can tell me that as a 9-year veteran that you could tell me that I'm just trying to do what a coach told me to do. Yeah. That's the exact equivalent of, well, I'm just doing that because he said to do it. That's no accountability, bro. Men don't do shit like that.
Bro, Josh McDaniels has been in constant arguments, debates, and battles on the sideline with Tom Brady. I know Tom Brady is not Derek Carr, but Tom Brady would go out there and do something totally different that Josh did not ask him to do, and they would argue and fight, and they would move on. The end of the day,
Bill Sims fucking arguing with the tuna. Bro, like I can go. We talking about coaches that'll eat you for fucking breakfast. Guys that'll fucking tear your fucking head off.
Yeah.
And other quarterbacks, and Phil Simms has won a Super Bowl and was Super Bowl MVP, but guys that, were young in their career. Yeah. I've seen Jim Harbaugh argue with Mike Ditka.
Yeah.
When Jim Harbaugh was young.
But that's how it should be. Peyton Manning on the sideline arguing with Dungy, or arguing with Saturday, his center, about this, and that. Like, that's how it should be. I've never seen that out of our quarterback. T. Deasley, if this is a horrible QB evaluation, please, my brother, in the comments section, tell me how you feel. Give me a better evaluation on the quarterback position real quick in the comments section. Shout out to Bernal. Mark said he is committed to McDaniel. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, Bernal. And that's why I'm not shocked at all that we went through the trade deadline and didn't do anything. I'm not shocked at all. I'm actually
glad.
Yeah,
I'm actually glad.
Me too.
Because
me too.
What I want to see happen is I want to see 3 things happen this offseason. I don't want to hear that next season that they don't have pieces that can't fit their system. I don't want to hear that. I want you guys to go out, this glorious system that you have, go out and find the pieces that can fit this glorious system that you have, right? Then also, what I want for Dude to have is I want him to have a full myriad of draft capital, right? And then what I also don't want to happen is I don't want them to sell the pieces that they have that are valuable that don't fit under duress.
Yeah.
And that's all I want.
T. Deasley, you've been here for 2 years watching this.
You all don't know football.
No. We're going to leave it at that. Don't even read the rest of that. Waste it. If you've been here for 2 years, brother, if we don't know football, why the fuck are you here? Why are you here? Like go to the other guys that you think knows football. Like what the fuck are you here for?
Guys, I have to read this, yo. Wait, I have to read this. I really do. I have to.
Oh shit.
You all don't know football. You think what this man says in his press conference, what he really means? How long you guys been watching this game? Hey, T. Deasley, man, what the fuck are you, a fucking caveman? You type that shit like Captain Caveman. Hey, T. Deasley, unga bunga. Unga bunga, T. Deasley. Unga bunga. TD, I've forgotten more about this game of football, man, than you've wasted SpaghettiOs on your shirt in your mama's basement. T. Deasley, what I want you to do is, if you're subscribed to me, which you're probably not, go unsubscribe and go fuck yourself. Not going to be with me.
There you go. Gru, let it be known what the fuck is up. If we don't know football, unga boonga, move the fuck on. How about that? Shout out to Black Sunday. My bad. My apologies, brother. You put up the super at the beginning of the show. I didn't get a chance to see it. So sad that we're looking at having draft capital after all this talent we had. I know, man. It definitely sucks. And all these big contracts we just handed out. Sad, man. It definitely is sad, my brother. But I'm going to say this. At least at least this may sound sad. This may just sound like a forever Raider fan, but at least I know the plan now, right? Like at least like we're over here sitting over here. We're gonna go trade for Roquan Smith. We're gonna go trade out and go get a better linebacker, a better defensive tackle in Deron Payne. We're gonna go get a right tackle. We didn't do any of that shit. Yeah. And to be real with you, coming after they came out of that presser, and Mark Davis saying that this is our coach of the future and that they have a plan. Now I'm here to say, okay, I'm here for it. I'm sitting back and I'm playing the long game, but I also understand this. I think with that being said, I think that this offseason with being able to free up $110 million and moving on from this whole Derek Carr, I can't even say experiment anymore because it's been a decade. Moving on from that situation, I'm cool.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
There are a lot of things that were done here, man, for a reason.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the things that have happened here, bro, because they pretty much tipped their hand and told you what's happened. You got to kind of read between the lines, though, right? They told you, they said, hey, we are committed here, right? So Mark Davis told you, before I went into this, I'm committed for a few years here, right? So that means they have a few-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
So they went out here and they signed people to make it look like
we're in a win-win. We're win now. Yeah.
But they left fucking trap doors and booby traps all over these contracts where they can get out from under this shit.
Let's just be real.
To these guys on these rosters. They're like, maybe listen, you know what? We're good coaches. This guy has talent. Let's see if he can fit in. But if he doesn't, see you.
They knew, we didn't know it, Wasted, but they knew that Devontae Adams wasn't going to disguise this offensive line. They knew that bringing in Chandler Jones wasn't going to take away from our secondary issues and what we got going on at the linebacker spot. They brought in some sexy names in order to sell us on what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But now, like I said, now that we see what the fuck is going on, I'm cool with it.
Yep. We said, listen, I could feel it in my plums. he said,
there we go, bro. Look,
I can feel it in my plums.
And all I'm saying is you guys do not be shocked.
They hoodwinked us and they bamboozled us. And we fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
All I'm going to say is this. Do not be shocked next year, you guys. Do not be shocked if we move on from DC, we go draft a quarterback, and we bring in Jimmy G for 1 year that knows the system already. I know people don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, but do not be shocked if they go get a guy with familiarity with the system for a year as a bridge gap guy, and Jimmy G is that guy, and we move on from DC. All I'm saying is
I ain't got no problem with Uncle Jesse coming here, man. Hey. He's gonna have a woman with 2 big breastises in the locker room at all times, man. I got
there's no way to hype up a locker room but some titties. That's facts.
Yeah. Listen, man, free range titty is always a way to boost morale.
Free range titty is the best way to boost morale. Tip is back here cooking, going.
A woman with 2 big breastises.
She said Uncle Jesse. Nah, but hey, SinCal, that's facts. Gadden definitely used to yell at Gru all the damn time. But that's just real shit, though. I mean, look, Jimmy G's on a 1-year deal. They're going to go back to Trey Lance because now they don't want to look stupid. I mean, they gave up a lot for him. Look what Miami brought in off of the Trey Lance trade, bro. Did you see that? Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and Bradley Chubb. They turned all 3 of those. That's what Trey Lance, that trade turned into for Miami. 3 fucking stars. Trey Lance has to win with the Niners now. Like they have to go with him moving forward. So I definitely see, if they don't win a ship this year, Jimmy G walking off, and definitely really, really good chance of him pulling up to Vegas for a year or 2 and being that bridge guy. Definitely. Let me see. Shout out to everybody here in the building. Hey, Wasted. Cam can't throw the ball 30 yards anymore. I'm not subscribed. That's cool.
Yeah. Who was that?
The same motherfucker. Let me see.
Who gives a fuck? Jesus Christ.
Hoyer, the ass destroyer, could be a potential get to help. Yo, hold on. What the fuck? Jimmy G played good under McDaniels. Hey, man. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Mario, fire car, sign Jacoby Brissett ASAP. What do y'all think? I think not.
Way.
I think
I'm
not.
cool on that, bro.
He's like he's like the definition of a bridge quarterback, though, right? Like if you get Jacoby Brissett, you're basically saying, let's go get 8-9 wins. Like that's what you're committing to. You know what I mean? If you can get Jimmy G, you potentially can win more if you can build that defense up and get the trenches right in the draft. So look, Jimmy G has been proven to win in this league with a stout defense and the trenches looking right. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is. And I know somebody's out there is going to say, well, give that to Derek Carr. It hasn't happened in 9 years, man. Move on. Shout out to Mario. KC, drop DC, save cash, draft D. Thoughts? Exactamundo, KC. Everything you just said, correct. Correct. $110 million. Definitely.
Yeah, but
definitely.
Look, man, the reason why I think the Jimmy G caveat makes a little bit of sense is because, see, it all depends on how the 49ers move forward with the whole Trey Lance experiment.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So if the Trey Lance experiment is something that they're willing to lean on, you can't keep Jimmy G there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you got to look at the situation where they're the ones who kind of groomed Jimmy G. So if the Raiders are going to go out and they're going to have a bridge quarterback, what better bridge quarterback to bring in than a guy that they brought up, a guy that's not going to be really expensive because he's not going to be money hungry. He's a guy who's already gotten paid
and knows the system like the back of his hand.
So to me, that's a win-win for both parties.
If the argument is Patrick Graham and Josh McDaniels do not have the players for their schemes, then you go out and give these guys what the fuck they want. And you bring in some guys that's familiar with what they're moving with. Or you bring in some rookies, some young guys that you can groom, and that system is the only system they know at the NFL level. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know Raider Queen. I know people don't want to hear Jimmy G. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, this man is one in this league. I know a lot of it is on the defense, a lot of it's on the run game. I get it, but he knows the system and he's gotten some W's in the NFL. Shout out to Prime, Primos.
Wait. Hold on.
Yo,
hold on. I see people talking slick in the chat. And I don't like to address shit on the chat, bro. I'm gonna text you, bro.
Okay, I'll go in there in a second. Hold on. Let me read these supers real quick. Shout out to Primos. Forky, keep the trend that Wasted started. 4K, Also, Jimmy G over DC. He is a winner. He can win games. Shout out to my dog Primos, man. If y'all not subscribed to our brother yet, man, make sure you go subscribe to Primos' channel as well. Mario Greenberry. Jimmy is injury prone. Brissett has been balling. I wouldn't say balling, brother. They're 3-5. The Browns are 3-5. That's not really balling, but I hear you, King. Shout out to my boy Greenberry. I like, don't get me wrong, I like Brissett as well, but I just don't, if you get rid of DC, you can't just go completely, you can't downgrade. Like at least Jimmy G is right there at that level, or even, look, he has more success at the NFL level. So, but Brissett, I don't know, man. Shout out to Black Sunday. Wait a minute. We already got a QB that played under McDaniels on our bench. That's facts. But Stidham is Stidham, man. Stidham is Stidham. Let me see what my brother talking about. Where are you at? Where are you at? Shout out to Black Sunday. Stidham ain't ready though. Shout out to Robert Lamb. Let me see. I don't see shit in this motherfucker.
Yeah, so look, but the whole Jimmy G thing, right? I mean, to me, it would make sense to me.
Okay. Grab one of them comments, bro, while I run through this shit.
Yeah, so look, yo. For me, man, so this whole Jacoby Brissett thing, like, why would you guys want to see a Jacoby Brissett being in here, man? Jacoby Brissett is a guy that I can have Jacoby Brissett be here as a backup. I can't have Jacoby Brissett. I can't go into a year with Jacoby Brissett ever, because Jacoby Brissett is a guy that can play well for you and win a game or two, but you can't go into a whole season with him. You never can. You never can, man. Jacoby Brissett can never be that guy, man. Uncle Rico. Look, Auntie, I always wanted to have Uncle Rico come in here and be their bridge quarterback. I like freaking Uncle Rico, bro. I liked him ever since he was in Jacksonville, man. He's tough. You know, he's just the kind of guy. Gardner Minshew's just the kind of guy that the Raiders would have here for a couple of years, and then you can go out here and go and draft a guy and let him develop, and he wouldn't have any problem.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Raider Ben, ain't you the same dude that asks me every day if I'll come on your show? Ain't you the same dude that's been begging me to jump on your weak ass show for like 2 years? Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That weak ass shit you got going on. You out of here, man. You making Stockton look bad, bro. Shout out to the 209, man. Motherfucker talking about he don't show his face. I don't invite you on my show, bro. Fuck is you talking about? You came on one time and never came back on again, motherfucker. Fuck out of here. Let me see. Boy got shot. Fuck out of here. Making Northern California look bad. Pussy boy. All right. Now that we talked out of our neck and shit.
All right. Wait a minute. So a little behind my drive home from work, I was thinking Jimmy G too. Yes, we all are thinking Jimmy G.
Let me see. Hold on. Make sure my audio's back. Hold on. Yo. All right, we cool. My bad. I had to get up out my scrub. Yeah, people in the chat hostile today, man.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. I don't understand what the hell's going on here.
Hey, that dude do that shit. He a shock value dude, bro. He try to go on Twitter and shit on all the guys that do this shit and then be behind the scenes begging to get on everybody's show and shit. You can suck my dick. And I mean that. And I'm from Sacramento. I'll be at home, bro. If you got a problem, hit me, bro. I will pull up to the 209 and beat the dog shit down your leg, bro. Stop playing with me. Let me see. Acting like Dox and Wasted lost 24-0.
Don't throw me in as your QB. Don't do that.
My apologies, you guys. You know we get a little reckless over here sometimes on Dox ENT. The Raider Nation Unlimited. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, you know, clout is one hell of a drug, man. Sometimes when you keep leaving people on scene, they get real mad inside. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah, man. We talk behind the scenes, bro. We ain't doing that.
Nah, while we here, man, fuck that. Let's just keep this trend going. Requests. Fuck out of here. Who is this right here? Raider Ben the other day. Thursday. Yo, Dox, hopefully this message finds you well. Wanted to know if you would be willing to join our podcast one of these Fridays. Take care. That's you? That's you. Shout out to Black Sunday. We were saying the same things about Mariota, and now he got the Falcons at 4-4 with way less talent than Carr. Laughing my ass off. Damn. I don't know where to go now, bro. I don't know. Thank God we got to build different tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Thank God we got to build different tonight.
See, I try to be humble to guys, man. You know what I mean? I try not to be a douchebag, but like, come on, bro.
This shit funny as fuck, bro. We keep receipts, bro. You know we keep receipts over here. This shit, you know, we very calculated, man. You already know what time it is, man. Didn't know that he has to pop up on his show. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, pre-balls. We ain't giving no lames no more motherfucking credit because all he's gonna do is take this soundbite and upload it to his channel and try to use it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, pussy boy. Alan, I'd rather have Geno Smith. He is doing his thing on the Seahawks. I think they give him an extension. I do. I think they keep Geno around. He's looked really good for them this year. He knows Pete Carroll's system. You know what I mean? And they'll probably go draft a young guy and have Geno be that guy for a few years. Definitely. Let me see. Hold on. He said he leaked the DMs. But let me ask you this. We did nothing. We did nothing today. This show is already off course now. I'm like really ready to fight. But what do you feel about the moves that happened thus far?
I mean, bro, the way I feel is
I mean, I ain't like seeing Hines go to Buffalo. They went and got a running back.
Like I feel like you can see who's really trying to win. You can see who's trying to win. You can see that the Ravens are trying to win. You can see that the Buffalo Bills are trying to win. You can see who has a real chance at winning the Super Bowl. You can see who's throwing all their chips in the table, and you can see who's kind of sitting back. I mean, you know, from a Raider perspective, I think the Raiders played everything smart because the Raiders have too talented of a roster to have a fire sale. they also have too talented of a roster to go out here and go and just get rid of people. You know what I mean? And indiscriminately and not get the value for the guys that we have on this roster. And also, you know, there were a couple of teams that I think kind of sold a little too early. Like, I think the Denver Broncos did themselves a disservice
by letting go a Chubb. Well,
Yeah,
he's about to get paid. That's the thing. You got to realize they just paid Russell Wilson like $3 billion, bro. They're not going to be able to pay Bradley Chubb. So they had to move on. Miami's already in talks to extend him right now. You know what I mean? So it makes sense for them. You know what I'm saying? And they got some young guys. They got Randy Gregory. They drafted some other guys. So it made sense for them to move on. Let's just be real, man. Bradley Chubb has not lived up to the hype since coming out of college, bro. He's not been that guy.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
One Pro Bowl year, and I think 9.5 sacks or somewhere around there, like 10, 11. I don't know where it was, but.
See, the thing about Bradley Chubb is it's like, man, you know, what's the thing about a guy with that kind of raw talent, though, man? And I know, listen, it's a currency of hope, but just getting rid of the guy like that and not really getting back anything to replace him, man. I get it. I know you can't look at it from that prism, man. For me, when he was coming out, I was a big fan of Bradley Chubb, man. So it kind of sucks that they're not getting anything for him.
Yeah. No, I hear you, though. Shout out to Ryan. Packers as well they never do anything at the trade deadline. They never rarely do anything in free agency. I know that fan base is pissed, man. It's the only fan base that owns that team. Like, that sucks. These guys just never go out and get a receiver. Brandon Cooks was damn near traded, bro. Like, he wants out. He's on Twitter right now going in on the Texans. He thought he was gone. Like, for Green Bay to not give up a second for potentially Aaron Rodgers last year in the NFL, that's crazy to me, bro. I know he's owed $18 million next year, but bro, you got to go at least all in for your, you know what I mean, your star quarterback if this is it. That's crazy to me, bro. Shout out to Big Mike. For real shit, bro. YouTube is a weird fucking place, bro. Facts. Shout out to the Mokes. We need Chad Powers as quarterback. Chad Powers. Hold on. Steve Nash got fired today as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Hey, man, shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. They are the new Sacramento Kings. We have moved on and handed the most toxic shit to the Brooklyn Nets. There you go. Hold on real quick. Shout out to everybody here rocking in the building. We are doing a show, you guys, in a few hours. Rest in peace to Takeoff. We are doing a show tonight, a special show, Built Different podcast. Me, my brother Wasted, and our brother Money L. We're going to break down that sad situation that happened in Houston this morning. And we're just going to give our takes on, just on everything hip hop, where hip hop is right now in general. Shout out to Sean. To quote Derek Carr himself, love the man, hate the sin. The sin is his game. Been supporting him since day one, but he got to go. Shout out to Sean, man. Shout out to Sean. I don't really have any more to say about Derek Carr, so I'm kind of just trying to.
Yeah, look, man. The thing about it is this, man. Like, when we start talking about the Raiders, man, all roads right now, because of how things transpired, all roads point back to Derek. All roads point back to Derek, man. And really, that's going to be the theme of the rest of the year. Yeah. Everything else on his roster, man, is really secondary, man. And it sucks to say that, man, but he's such a polarizing guy. And he's really at the center of all of this team's, like, the trajectory going forward. It all really lays in his lap.
Yeah, he's the quarterback.
And I know that sucks. And I know everybody's going to be like, there's so many different things that need to happen with this team. But as he goes, this team goes.
Look, so he's the longest tenured player on the Raiders right now, and he's the quarterback, the most important position.
Yeah, so it's like, man, you can't, bro. You can't have all of the you can't have all the glory and not have all of the pain that comes along with that. You can't have all the money and not have all the criticism. Yeah. You just, it is what it is till it ain't. That just is what it is when you're a quarterback, man. And it sucks, but it is what it is. So now going forward, the trajectory of the Raiders begins and ends with what happens with Mr. Carr.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick,
that's just, and there's no two ways around it. And us as content creators, we have to figure out where that begins and ends.
Yeah. Real quick. I don't want to talk
really
about. I'm done with Derek Carr. Shout out to G, man. Paul Gunther's defense was It wasn't overcomplicated. It made no sense. G. It wasn't overcomplicated. It literally made no sense at all. Real shit, like at all. Shout out to Black Sunday. Any chance Gruden wins his case and comes back? No, that'll never happen.
Nah.
Shout out to Black
If
Sunday.
people say like Klee and Abram, if Klee and Abram had a market, they wouldn't be Raiders anymore. No, I don't think teams are going to pay for guys that aren't going to be here next year that they can get next year.
Yeah.
So, and if a team felt like Klee and Abram couldn't help them this year, they would be on their teams. But I don't think teams feel like those guys can help them enough for them to be able to take on that salary, even in the middle of the year.
Shout out to KC. Waller ain't no Kittle in the middle for Jimmy G. Look, bro, Jimmy G would have Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, like Darren Waller, bro. The list goes on. He would have all the weapons in the world if he came over here for a year or two and was that bridge guy. I don't think he would miss George Kittle too much when you got all those weapons on the outside and the inside. And if you bring Josh Jacobs back, you have one of the best running backs in the league. Potentially Zeus can take off next year as well. Look, Jimmy G would not lose any sleep with all these damn weapons. I could tell you that, Casey. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to Rick Glenn. Who is more responsible for our 2-5 record? Carr's play or McDaniel's play calling? Thoughts? I'm going to say this, Glenn, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. And the defense and the offensive line. Let me say this. 2-5 because of everything. The entirety of this team. Everybody. We're 2-5 because the defense sucks. We're 2-5 because the offensive line can't continue to, to be what it is week in and week out. It's inconsistent. It's because Derek Carr shit the bed numerous times. It's because Darren Waller can't stay healthy. It's because, the list goes on. Josh McDaniels out coaching himself, fucking going for a fake punt on our own 30, 40-yard line. We can keep going. A handoff to Devontae Adams, jet sweep, 3rd and 1. The list goes on.
Yeah, I think a lot of what's going on here is people being on this roster that some people might not want here. I just think when you start a situation that's a ready-made situation, that's why it's not good to come into a situation like this when you're an established coach. All right, this is not Josh McDaniels' first rodeo, right? This ain't Derek Carr's first rodeo. This ain't this team's first rodeo. This team made a playoff, right? So they were kind of together, and Josh McDaniel comes from a situation, and he's coming in to a ready-made situation. He wants to make it his own, right? So then now what you have is that you got a Josh McDaniels trying to come and make this team his own. Then he's trying to ingratiate himself, and everybody's kind of tripping over themselves, I think, man.
Yeah.
And I think that guys are playing nice, and I think that Josh McDaniels probably has guys on his roster that he doesn't believe can get certain things done, and it's kind of affecting his judgment. I think that some of the players are trying not to trip over themselves and piss the coach off. It's just a bad situation, and I just think that they need to start from a baseline of 0. And I think he needs to keep the guys he needs to keep, get rid of guys he doesn't want, and just start fresh, man. And I think that's pretty much what needs to happen, man. Like, for the last few regimes, it's just been one regime spilling into the next because there's been all these weird situations that have happened. Nothing's ever been able to just, there's been no like finality. Like even when Del Rio left, like Del Rio, they didn't, I don't think Mark really was going to fire Jack, but when the John Gruden situation came about, it was like, well, shit, I might fire Jack, I might not. But fuck, man, I can get my dream to bring John back. So you got to go, Jack. You know what I'm saying? It just happened so abruptly. It wasn't really a situation. You know what I mean, bro? And
no, I hear you.
And Gru kind of came in the middle of what Jack had going on. And it was like, really like, wow, we got rid of Jack. And then Reggie was still here. And then John kind of had to do that thing, that dance with Reggie for like a year or two. It was like a year, right, when he had Reggie?
Mm-hmm.
He had a year with Reggie, and then they had to do their little fake dance. Then John had got Mayock, and then they did their thing. And then now you had the situation with last year, and then it's just now, man, you had to get to a point where Josh McDaniels could come in here, start fresh, and just exercise the demons of the last regime. And I think we'll go to a more positive place. So I'm not willing to just give up on a guy after 8 games.
Shout out to Giovanni. Knowing now that this is a 2-year plus plan and they have an out in the DC contract, did they bring in DA and re-sign weapons to potentially groom a quarterback in the draft? Why else bring them in? Shout out to Dox and Wasted. Giovanni, you said it. I think you said everything. You hit it all on the head, bro. Yeah. Look. In a perfect world, you come out year one, DC and Devontae go out there and kill shit, and you don't have to move on from Derek Carr. You found your quarterback. Or their initial plan, give him his rope, let him hang himself. We'll move on and we'll get our own quarterback. I think there was a 1A, 1B with this situation. It was, if they go out and win, great. We found our quarterback. We got our guy. If not, we have an out. We move on. We keep shit moving. At the end of the day, man, these guys know this team. They're a lot. I want to say they're a lot smarter than us, but shit, sometimes they look stupid as fuck. But they know what they're doing. They know their plan. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to say this. As much as we all kill Josh McDaniels and we all kill DC, I think that there is a plan in motion, and I'm here to see it unfold. That's it. Shout out to Jesus. What's good, fellas? I got nothing but respect for both of y'all, but moving forward, so you see our Raiders make the playoffs. Also, do you see DC and DA's connection also with this offense going forward? Look, man, I think at this point, Jesus, I could be wrong. I could be right. I think that they've shown flashes, and then they've shown one reception for 3 yards, and DC had 101 yards with one interception. It's just too inconsistent. Moving forward, they'll probably have some big games. They will. And then they'll probably have some games where they shit the bed again. Yeah. So,
peaks and valleys, right?
Yeah, peaks and valleys. Exactly. So I don't see the playoffs in our near future. You know what's so crazy is, though, the way the AFC is shaping up right now, a lot of people are losing games. Real shit, we lost 5 thus far. You can lose 7. You can lose 2 more moving forward and still somehow slip into the playoffs. But the problem with that is all these conference games that we've lost. You know what I'm saying? You lost to the Chargers, you lost to Tennessee, you lost to KC. I mean, the list goes on. You just keep losing these games. You have to beat the Colts. You have to beat the Jags. You have to beat the Chiefs. You have to beat the Chargers, and you got to beat the Broncos again. Like, you have to win every conference game moving forward. And if you're 10-7, maybe you're on the outside looking in. But is 10-7 enough for us to be excited about this team that we thought could potentially win the division? No.
Yeah. Nah, mediocrity is hell. Mediocrity is hell. The worst thing in the world in life is to not know where you stand.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing in life, man. Yeah. To not know where you stand, to be in limbo. Yeah. 10-7 essentially puts you in limbo in a way, because we as a fan base, right, as longtime people that are invested in this, it's not good for us. Now, for the guys who are coaching this team and for guys who are playing for this team, them making the playoffs means that they could put that on their resume and that they get an extra game check and that they got something to play for. And every time you get into the playoffs, you got a chance, right?
Yeah.
So all you're looking for is a chance, and that's great. But for us, we want sustained excellence.
Yes.
We want a chance going forward in perpetuity. That's what we want.
Is it over? No. Can it be over? Yes.
Yeah.
Do we want it to be over? No.
Yeah.
Do we want to win the rest of these games?
Over, bro. It's just that, like, theoretically, for longtime Raider fans such as myself and Graphk and I would say all of you in here.
Yeah.
What we saw coming into this is what we saw being built was that we're like, yo, our guy that we were rooting for a long time, Derek, finally has that number one slam dunk guy. We don't got to guess. Like, we're like, well, shit, Amari Cooper was the number one guy. And then it was like, damn, is he? Was it Derek or was it Amari? Yeah. This was a situation where we're like, yo, we know that this dude is a number one. So we don't want to hear it. And now we're like, well, shit, if we can maybe get a piece or two on that line, now we got a juggernaut, and now we can try to make a run going forward for a couple of years. That's what we thought. Yeah. Now we see that that's not what it is. So now we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get to that point where we start winning all the time?
Yeah.
Not just
you want sustainable success. You want sustainable success year in and year out. You don't want to wait 20 years to go to the playoffs twice. We're not signing up for that shit no more.
And that's not good enough for me, bro. So like, people are like, we just made the playoffs last year. That's cool.
That was a bad team, bro. I'm sorry, y'all.
We had an extra game last year.
Let me
the fuck what?
No, I'm gonna say this. That was a bad team, you guys. We got very, very, very lucky to slide into the playoffs. We played a close game with Cincinnati on the road on the wild card, the wild card round. But we were not a good team last year, you guys. We weren't. We were very, very lucky to fall into the wild card spot. Shout out to everything went right for us at the end of the season because everything went wrong for us at the beginning of the season. Shout out to Arlen. They are preparing for next year, I think. I believe the Raiders are basically learning and perfecting McDaniel's playbook. Just a thought. This is facts. But at the end of the day, there's going to be some guys, Arlen, that make the cut, and there's going to be some guys that don't. And if they are trying to get McDaniel's playbook implemented and Graham's system implemented, they're going to see who doesn't fit the scheme and who does. Some people are going to stay. A lot of people are going to go. Shout out to Nation of Pillagers. McDaniel's out of his comfort zone, not a leader in my opinion. Hey, right now we're 2-5, so I think you're right at this point, but we shall see moving forward if he can get his shit together. Shout out to Raider Cole as well. Wasted. I love you, but you hurt my heart with your Gruden slander. Laugh out loud. Gruden at least knew how to get our studs the ball. Renfro and Adam, one catch each. Go ahead.
My brother, listen, man. When I do the Gruden stuff, you guys got to realize something. I like John Gruden, bro. I think John Gruden is a hell of a coach. I thought he was a bad GM. And that's the part of John Gruden I make fun of. I don't make fun of him as a coach. Yeah. I just think that I really wish that when John was here, that he would have learned from what happened in Tampa Bay and brought a real GM here and stayed out of the personnel part of things. As far as him being a head coach, was he a little like behind the times in certain aspects? Yeah. But John Gruden's a hell of a coach, man. And to be quite honest with you, he wasn't like I had a problem with him in the red zone, but as far as overall, I like John. I just didn't like him as a GM.
This is the problem, okay? Let's see, because in the NFL, you have to be able to make adjustments. The problem was Gruden started hot last year, 3-0, DC early Black Horse MVP candidate, right? And then we started shitting the bed because he didn't make the proper adjustments. McDaniel started off slow this year. 2-5 it's an understatement to start off slow. Let's see if he makes the proper adjustments. At the end of the day, I'm really starting to believe that this year is a year to just line up 2023. And if that's the case, then I'm cool with, like I said, I'm cool with what we got going on. We're going to have some good games. We're going to have some bad games in the midst of all this shit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there really ain't no reason to just go out there and lose, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. Like, we have a full draft regardless. We have a full draft. Like we're going to be able to get who we want to go get unless it's a quarterback. If you want to get a quarterback in the first round, you're probably going to have to shit the bed moving forward.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't see the guy out there that's worth doing that for. It's just not like Andrew Luck is coming out.
Well, but also look at it like this, bro. How many teams in the NFL right now need a quarterback? A lot of these teams have their quarterbacks.
Yeah,
like Kenny Pickett,
they have their answers.
You know what I'm saying? Like Sam Howell with the Commanders, they may use him next year after when they move on from Carson Wentz. Like a lot of these guys got some young guys. Carolina has a young guy they went drafted. Atlanta has a young guy. That's why Mariota was that bridge guy. There's a lot of teams. The Texans had Davis Wells, which I don't know if they're going to move on from him at some point. Maybe they do.
I think those three teams you named, they have quarterbacks that they will definitely move on from if they felt like there was a guy they liked better.
Yeah,
I think with Pittsburgh, with Kenny Pickett, it's a little different because that's a guy they really liked.
Yeah,
he's a homegrown guy. He played at Pitt. That's his job. I think Zach Wilson, they're not going to do that again. They already did that with Sam Darnold. The Jets they're committed to Zach Wilson. I like Tua. Tua's a guy that you never know what Stephen Ross is going to do down there. But I think that might be.
If we kept Bisaccia, we'd be 0-7. We wouldn't have Devontae Adams. Mayock would still be our GM. There would be no Zieg or no Josh McDaniels. All I'm saying, and I know a lot of people are cool with no Josh McDaniels, but all I'm gonna say is this: Rich Bisaccia is not a head coach, man. Not a head coach. He's not a head coach. Just because these guys played really, really, tough for him to end out the year does not mean he's a head coach. He's not. If he was a head coach, he would have went and got another job. Simple and plain.
Yeah. It's about building a program. It's not about getting to one point and being stagnant.
We're so used to being stuck in the moment that it's just like, oh, we went to the playoffs last year. That doesn't mean that same team would have ran it back. They definitely wouldn't have. we wouldn't have run it back. Think about this too. There's no Devontae, so we probably would have drafted terribly last year without Ziegler around. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have just been another shit show. Shout out to Ben Bad. Plan A. Mick thought he could tweak the team, make a run, but it's not working out. Plan B, second year, start over.
Yeah, people say Brian Daboll was the answer, and even with that, I think Brian Daboll has a lot of ties to the Giant organization, man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even think he even interviewed for the Raiders job.
No. Wait, who?
Brian Daboll.
No, not at all.
He didn't. He has so many ties to the Giants, like him and Joe Judge and all those guys that they didn't even consider coming here. So like that was the kind of the problem with that.
No, facts. Let me see. Shout out to Aaron once again. Shout out to Mexico in the building. What's good, bro? Good stuff like always. Carr needs to go. I'm done with mediocrity. We need a fresh start. Build out off the draft. This is facts. Shout out to my dog Aaron, bro. Appreciate you, King. Let me see. Now, hold on, Docs. You wanted to give Mayock a full draft. Well, look, I mean, all I'm saying is this, man. He has not been able to hit early on in the draft at all. Yes, he's gotten some guys like Renfro, Max, Nate Hobbs. He definitely got the pillars for this team. But you have to be able to draft in the early rounds in this league, bro. You have to. There's no I get you got some guys that are some cornerstones, but it's just too many misses, bro. It's way too many misses.
Graphk, not to cut you off, brother, but the problem with missing early, it's cool to hit late. The problem with missing early is the contract.
Yeah, that's
the problem because okay, you hit on Max, right? But now you're handcuffed to Klee, and his contract is terrible. It's terrible. He's here, not producing. He has a bad contract. And you're still so now, Max, 4th round pick, you're paying him, great. And you're paying Klee to do nothing. So that's what the bad part of all of that is. Now it'd be good if Max was a little better than Klee, and Klee was at least good enough to start, so you wouldn't have to go out and make up for that mistake by signing Chandler Jones. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when you miss early, it's like triple bad. You got to pay him for not playing. You got to go out to replace that production, and you know it's cool that you made up for it by Max, but now you got to pay Max too.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Make sure you wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to both channels, I don't know if you're watching on Wasted Channel or DOX ENT. Either way, hit subscribe on both channels, you guys. Raider Nation Unlimited and DOX ENT. Tonight, you guys, we are live. We'll get a couple questions in before we dip out. But we are live. We're doing a Built Different show tonight. Rest in peace to Takeoff. We're definitely going to talk the state of hip hop tonight. So for those who are interested in pulling up 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific time, we will be live doing our Built Different podcast. It's been a while since we dropped one. We're looking forward to doing it. Under the circumstances, it's sad. You know what I mean? But we got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Get a couple questions in, you guys, before we dip up out of here. Terry says, Devontae came to Vegas because of Carr and the Raiders, not for Ziegler and McDaniels. Y'all silly as shit. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Zeke went out and traded for Devontae Adams. So how did he not come to Vegas because of Zeke and McDaniels?
Bro, Devontae Adams came to the Raiders because of the Raiders. Let's get that out the way. Like,
no, for sure. Like, but bro,
first of all, the guy grew up in California. The guy grew up a Raider fan. The guy idolizes Tim Brown, right? And then fuck all of that little stuff, right? Because he's not a kid anymore. As an adult male, he wants his grandparents and his family to come to watch his games, right? So logistically, it makes sense because it's better for him and his family, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then financially, he's in a big new sports media market. You've never seen Devontae Adams have nationally televised commercials with the Green Bay Packers, have you? He does now, right? Devontae Adams is in a state with no income tax, right? He's in a state where it's not fucking 30 below zero in the wintertime, right? And Devontae Adams is closer to home. Look at that.
But
see how God works?
But the thing is though, Terry,
tell me he came here just for fucking quarterback.
Bro, it's not just that though. Like Josh McDaniels and Zeke were the ones that put the fucking trade together. So he knew who was coaching him. You don't think the best wide receiver in the league is not going to go to a situation where he feels the coach and GM can get him a championship? Like, bro, it's every element that came with this situation. Come on, man.
Yo, DA a Raider, bro. Like, yo, you see the fucking pictures of the guy 9 years old being, pictures of him in the 4th grade with a Tim Brown jersey on. Stop.
Bro, it'd be shit. It'd be comments like that maybe want to do pre-recorded shows, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, nobody wants to fucking, like, bro, if you're a California kid, bro, it's cool playing with Aaron Rodgers, right? But at the end of the day, man, it must be like watching paint dry, being in fucking Wisconsin during your work life. Go ahead, bro.
No, Terry, if you thought that Devontae Adams was going to come in and play for Bisaccia, you're fucking insane.
So a guy on a Hall of Fame trajectory is going to come here and play for a guy who has been a special teams coach for his entire career. Really? Really? So, okay. So next.
One more year of YouTube, bro. We out. One more year, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to win the Super Bowl in 2023. We're out of here, bro.
Yes.
Shout out to Raider Rich. At this point, it's great if we make the playoffs. Doubt it with that. We've all seen. I personally have no faith in McDaniels. He hasn't been a good head coach. Let me say this, you guys. We're all in for the ride. We're Raider fans regardless. I just think this is going to be a roller coaster the rest of this year. I think it's going to play with our emotions a lot. We'll get a win here. We'll be excited. Oh, we're about to go on a run. We'll get a loss here. Fuck, we're back to losing again. We'll get another win, then probably win 2-3 in a row and be like, oh shit, we're right back into the swing of things, and then take a major L and be right back to like, fuck, the season is over. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, you guys. They showed that this team has showed us who they are. So moving forward, it's a roller coaster. That's it. I don't see us just going on this massive, crazy win streak and winning every game and being 12-5. That doesn't happen after you get blown out by a team that is worse than you in the New Orleans Saints. You don't lose to a 32nd ranked defense 24-0 and just magically come out and start blowing out other teams and winning games left and right. That's not how this shit works. That's not how it works. You don't get blown out by the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL after you were the 3rd ranked scoring offense in the NFL and come back out and just win every game. That's not how this shit works. It's not how it works.
Man, I mean, bro, look, I have a hard time deciphering what. See, like, because what I deal is I deal with tangibles, man. I can't deal with the feelings. I don't deal with feelings, bro. I just deal with tangibles, right? So I can only deal with what is. I can't deal with the things that you feel or how you don't like or, like, see, dude, when we're talking about ball, we're talking about what we know, right? So whatever we're talking about, whether it's the Devontae Adams trade, we know that David Ziegler and we know that Josh McDaniels were the ones who orchestrated that trade. We know that Devontae Adams grew up a long-time Raider fan, right? Because he said it.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Devontae Adams grew up that way. We knew that Devontae Adams, it's important to him to be close to family.
Definitely.
This is what we know.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Devontae Adams said out of his own mouth that, my grandparents have never seen me play home because they don't fly.
Yeah.
This is what we know, dude. We're not talking conjecture, bro. No. We are talking factual evidence here. And what we know is that he walked away from a better quarterback than Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he have a problem? Like, you think that he's going to put his whole career on the line just to play with one guy?
Yeah.
Nobody in the NFL does that. It makes it better to play with a friend. But, these are men. So if your friend, you had a job, right? If
Greg, hold on real quick, bro. Greg, let me say this, bro. We've never came on here and claimed to be right about nothing, brother. Never. We never came on here. I'm right. Unless it's something that is just totally based on facts to the point where you see it and you're like, bro, you cannot say this isn't true. You see it. Bro, we are fans just like you guys, bro. Like we're not here to say we're right. I know a lot of guys out here on the internet do that. We're not the ones that do that. We'll definitely tell you when we're wrong and when we're right. We're not saying that we're right. We're just saying that this is what we see and how we see things. That's it.
I mean, I don't even know what you're even talking about, Greg. Right? Like, what are you referring to, bro? And Docs, this is 1,000% your fault.
It is.
Yes, Daniel Kim, absolutely right. But I don't understand what y'all even talk. Like, see, look, bro,
I just
1,000% your fault.
Shout out to Daniel. I just seen it. Okay, you're right.
1,000%.
Yeah.
But
hey, if you feel differently, I just told this guy this the other day in my inbox. Make your own show. Like if you hear it, oh man, you know, you do this and you always shit on Derek Carr, bro, make a show glorifying Derek Carr. Go do that. Like the great thing about the internet, you guys, is it's free to create a YouTube page and then just build it up. You know what I'm saying? Create one and talk how you want to talk. That's it. It's simple. And I definitely thirsty with the equal.
The only thing I do is I give you the shit that I know is fact, bro. I don't, and if I give you my opinion, that's my opinion, bro. Yo, your opinion doesn't live here, bro. This is my opinion. So, like, if you got an opinion, what we do is, that's what we do. That's the show. Yeah. We all talk shit, and then sometimes I'll be like, yo, that's a good point, bro. And then sometimes you say, yo, Wasted, that's a good point. And that's what makes this fun. Bro, see, some motherfuckers have gotten into this situation where all they do is they live their life on social media, right? And you get caught up in an algorithm where you see shit that you agree with all day. And when a guy comes on here and doesn't agree with you, you can't handle it. Yeah. I can handle that shit, bro. All I do is argue with motherfuckers all day for a living.
Hey, that shit's funny, man. And look, you watch all the mother shows, man, ESPN and all that shit. You watch, they always have one dickhead that always just says everything wrong. Like you know that they literally, like they don't believe in what the fuck they be saying, the Skip Baylesses of the world and shit like that. Like, go watch that shit. If you don't want us to really be how talk how we really feel about shit, just unsubscribe and go watch something else, man. There's a lot of guys.
I talk too much. I'm on a fucking show on my channel talking. Do you want me to mime the show to you dickhead? Let me go.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter anyway, because Kari, that man is the fuck up out of here. Boo, 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 boo. That man died a miserable death. Shout out to you, man. We did that for Mac Dre. It's 18 years today that he passed. That was for Mac Dre right there. I got him the fuck up out of here. Shout out to the NorCal GOAT. You see Dox A. Smith out here. There you go, Sean. Talk that shit. I'm back in the chat. Some fans are wild. I love this shit though, man. Because to be honest with you guys, some of this shit be fun because it makes
I actually like it, bro.
Yeah, it makes the show entertaining. Keep the fuckery going, guys, because it makes the show. You know, we don't want to be out here bland and just talking about stats and all that shit. So my sons, y'all just want to come in here disrespectfully loud, huh? Just throwing buckets and shit all around. I hear you. That's what's up. I love you. My boys came in here just disrespectful. He said, Namath said, Doc's got a loaded strap tonight.
No, some of the people got a fucking strap on up their ass tonight, man. So these fucking people are crazy tonight, man.
Yeah, rest in peace, Mac Dre. Rest in peace, Takeoff. Speaking of Takeoff, let's take off. We got another show in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know. Let me go
shout out to the nation, man. This was fun. Shout out to the fuckery. Shout out to the fuck boys. Shout out to all the scrubbers out here. Oh, fucking Primos would do that. Primos would come on here and drop a super right when we were on the way out of here. Shout out to Primos. Wasted hurt us. I didn't care what car fans came in. I cooked car and didn't care. That's why. Shout out to Dox and Wasted. Y'all keep it 100. So subscribe to both channels, y'all. If y'all love Raiders, sub to them. Shout out to my brother Primo.
Critique, we cool, bro.
Hey, Critique, we don't want you to pull that guitar out, bro, and go in on us, bro.
Yeah, right.
You can put Critique can put that rock and roll shit on a late night and flame us, bro.
You're like, fuck you, Wasted. Fuck
you, Graphk. Now, shout out to Critique. That's my dog. Hey, we love you guys. Real talk. Hopefully, we see you guys tonight. Build Different podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Pull up. Let's talk some hip hop tonight. Love to everybody. Real talk. On the way out, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. Shout out to Critique. He's stupid. All right, y'all. One.